Hello, my name is Vasilios Stouraitis, and I'm the program leader for the MSc International Business Management here at Glasgow Caledonian University. GCU is the top-ranked modern university in Scotland. A key reason for that success is our focus on providing applied, business-related courses that meet the needs of industry internationally. The flagship MSc International Business Management is one such course. Gaining an international outlook on global practices is a vital skill in the global marketplace. And the MSc International Business Management provides our graduates with the opportunity to develop successful careers in international companies and varied sectors, at home here in Scotland, in the UK, as well as internationally. The mix of modules and skills acquired, along with an applied approach to learning, has allowed our graduates to now work in private, public and third sector roles, while some have pursued PhD studies. The contemporary course content focuses on producing employable, responsible graduates able to contribute effectively from the start of their employment via guest speakers, placement contacts, and our academic networks. The program offers graduates the opportunity to develop the skills and attributes that global employers are looking for through regular contact with industry. This program will enable you to develop expertise in key areas such as global strategy and sustainability, contemporary issues in international business, human resource management, ethical leadership, financial management, international operations management, and international marketing management. The case studies, simulations, and group reports allow you to develop academic and industry skills. After graduation, you may embark on a career that may lead you to international roles such as project supervisor, director of operations, a finance officer, charity director or funding advisor, or an international consultant for international organizations. These are just some of the wide array of opportunities that are available in industry. And that is what the MSc International Business Management will prepare you for. So here we are in one of the lecture theatres in the Annie Lennox building. Lectures form an important basis for your learning. While there is no one here at the moment, I thought that I'd instead provide you with a short recording which will give you a flavour of what you might expect. So sit back for the next 10 minutes as I explain to you why understanding your global strategy is vital in creating sustainable international business opportunities. Hello. So continuing from what you saw before in the lecture halls, we now proceed to showing you and demonstrating a small snippet of what your lecture and content could be like. So we begin with looking at, for example, global corporate strategy. As we said, this module is a fundamental of what you will learn throughout your whole program, setting off and branching off into the next slides and next modules. International growth and strategic direction is made out of elements that you will see in all of your modules: human resource management, marketing, operations, risk, ethical leadership. And of course, all of these elements then determine the puzzle of international global direction and what is the global competitive advantage for your company. In order to understand that, we then proceed to what could be the opportunities on a global scale and how can we assess them. The learning outcomes of the program, and generally, of course, of this module, reflecting the program content, can be seen in multiple elements. An understanding of the company strategy is fundamental to understand why and how you will choose to begin international business, or if you like, your international journey as a transnational, as a multinational, or as a small enterprise. Market penetration, product development, market development, and so on define the existence and why we can understand a company is conducting a certain strategy in international markets. That could be related, unrelated, or diversified. It is fundamental to understand why this decision exists in our digital age And it is fundamental to understand that in the digital age, companies now, especially small ones and online ones, so-called born global companies, have got more opportunities to participate in the international markets. Now, by opportunities, we mean either digital or physical. So opportunities for small companies and opportunities for medium-sized or larger companies present themselves depending on the type of market that they will see. And from there, understanding how they will approach that will be a fundamental aspect of your mix of modules. For example, an existing product into a new market, meaning a market that has not been approached by this company at all, or a market where this type of product has not been sold in general. For example, in another way, a completely new product presented to an existing market in a foreign country. A completely new product presented to an existing market in a foreign country where this product already exists, for example. And the large array of options of strategies, for example, market penetration, conglomerate diversification, or market development, are a way for us to understand the long spectrum of options. And from there, move on to understand the tools, words that we hear all around us, and we sometimes confuse what could they mean. These tools to enter international markets, exporting, licensing, franchising, joint ventures, foreign direct investment. What is the difference between these? What do we mean by licensing and franchising? What do we mean by joint ventures and strategic alliances? Sometimes words can overlap and they can confuse us. These modules in this program will clarify that understanding. Many times we confuse ourselves by trying to understand why certain companies do not access international opportunities. But what is also meant by trade barriers, trade wars, tariffs? Why is that an impediment? Why is the EU a positive trade bloc? What is NAFTA? What is Mercosur? What do we mean by Middle East and North African region trading? What is the difference between all these elements? These are the types of things that we try to understand, do not only derive from macro political aspects, but they also derive from the choices that our company will make. And that includes how we react to legal constraints, that includes how we react to competition, and that is what this module will teach you, and program in general, in terms of understanding how do we react to these things, and why should we? Why should a company bother? Why does a company undertake a certain journey? What is the difference between an unsolicited order or a reactive approach to international business and to international markets in comparison with a proactive or a push effect, as we call it, approach to international markets? In this sense, from there, what can we do? What is an exit strategy? How do we define one? How do we create one? What is the difference between an international company and a multinational company? What is the difference between being involved in two countries in comparison with multiple? What do we mean with all these terminologies? Transnational corporations, multinational corporations, conglomerates, firms, companies, international entities, corporations. These are the types of things that will be clarified in this program and are vital for any student to understand the complex world of international business. And from there on, its subcategorizations, for example, public sector entities, private sector, third sector companies, charities, NGOs, social enterprises. How do they conduct themselves internationally? How do they seize international opportunities? So moving on from the previous slides, we try to, of course, understand and depict what we are saying, or what we call an international strategy, by understanding several elements. What is the market selected by the company, and why? How did they find out of its existence? Did they create it? What are internationalization drivers? What do we mean by a driver? Is it a push driver? Is it a pull driver? And when we say it is pulling the company forward, how did it come to be? Is it myself with a small entity or small company in my country suddenly receiving an order from abroad saying, we have heard of what you sell, why don't you sell some here? Or is it myself actually needing to exit the market because of consumer pressures, or because of lack of market share, or because of cost? Or finally, because, of course, of staffing issues. Sources of competitive advantage. How can I know what I am actually good at? What is a value chain? We have all heard of supply chains. Can we explain what a value chain is? How can we assess what is our actual value in the market? And finally, how can we understand what value actually means? What it means to us, and what it means to the consumer, and what it can mean in the future. To understand finally all of these things added together as one, we sometimes need to understand and look at the mode of entry a company chooses. Why did this company choose to export? Was it because that's all they know? Was it because there is a strategic reasoning for that? We will be able to understand and assess that. Why did this company choose foreign direct investment in one country and at the same time operate with a different strategy in another country, which happens to be neighboring? We will be able to assess the logic behind these movements. And finally, the logic behind what is the competitive advantage, mode of entry, market selection, or internationalization drivers for small firms. Small firms represent the vast majority of entities globally, especially in the EU, from 0 to 249 members of staff, if you like, employees, and include micro entities, what we call entrepreneurship as well, and we also include single sole proprietorship. So it is very important for us to understand their international interests and why they decide to expand. So finally, and I hope you found it of interest, it's very important for us to understand the decision-making process, as we said, of companies. And your program will allow you to understand the reasoning behind that. Human resources, infrastructure, markets, legal, political, and regulatory aspects, economic and profitability aspects. Where do they come from? And how have these determined the location of foreign direct investment globally? How can they determine its survival as well? So I hope you found it of interest, and I'm looking forward to welcoming you as well in the MSc International Business Management. Have a lovely day. Thank you for listening. I hope you found that short recording interesting. But please note that lectures are only the starting point of your learning. University is about developing you as an individual, as a self-directed and self-motivated learner, with an international outlook and as someone with the interpersonal skills needed to exploit your academic learning. So in addition, through tutorials, seminars, group work and presentations, solving problems and undertaking practical exercises, we will help you develop the personal and practical skills that will distinguish you from other graduates. So why not think about joining others on the MSc International Business Management program? We'd love to see you here on campus at GCU. And if you have any questions meantime, please don't hesitate to get in touch.